Hello guys, and welcome to another discussion video, and today I'm going to be talking about Nintendo's weird lack of transparency. Like, the way they've been announcing things is really weird, and there's also been a lack of updates for a lot of different games and DLC and different things. But before we get started, I just want to say that only 4.3% of my viewers are subscribed to my channel, so if you haven't already and you enjoy my videos, consider subscribing. And also, if you enjoy my videos, consider joining my channel membership that I started recently. I have a few perks there, such as emojis, badges, and a few other things, so if you're interested, check it out. And I also have Anton Retro here in the discussion today, so let's go ahead and get started. So,
Alright.
yeah, just like I said at the start of the video, Nintendo has been really weird lately. Like, for starters, they're pretty quiet a lot of the time. Like, it really seems like they're not really, like, being transparent a lot, and they're just, whenever they have something to say, it's always, like, really random. Like the Kirby Dream
It almost
Buffet.
kind of feels like when they did with like 2020, when they were just kind of doing random stuff.
Yeah.
Although for this time it feels a lot, like, I know it's kind of a similar release schedule, but it just, something feels off. I don't know. Do they not have enough games?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I feel like part of the reason is because they didn't do a direct in June, and the way they're having the announcements out is really weird, and possibly their really random schedule too, which I'll get into in a little bit. But I kind of wanted to go through some of the weird things they've been doing recently. So, I have a few points for lack of updates, and the first one is the lack of updates on Mario Kart DLC. Like, I mean, they could announce that at any time, and this video might be outdated soon, but I really don't see it happening this week because of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and it was really weird that they haven't done it this month yet, since it's like, basically, I saw on Twitter that I think someone said about like a 4-month gap happening, like being in line with the end being in December 2023, and if it's longer than 4 months, it goes into 2024. So I think it's really weird that we've had such a long gap in between the first wave of DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and the next one.
Yeah, it's been strange because we know pretty much up to really September, and I guess Ubisoft has their thing there with the Mario plus Rabbids, and then we have Pokemon Company with the game there, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and then that's really it. We don't really have a timeline, so it's pretty strange.
Yeah, and speaking of Pokemon, we haven't really had a lot of news on Scarlet and Violet, and I guess it's technically tied with Nintendo, so I feel like that can be discussed here, because that also kind of goes in with the lack of transparency and everything. Like, there really hasn't been anything in a while. Like, there was only that short trailer, and that was it. Like, well, the reveal trailer, that one short trailer, and nothing else. It's been really weird, and I'm just seeing, like, a lot of different leaks and different things, and we still don't know that much about the game, and it's just releasing in a few months. So
Yeah, it's approaching fast. And the fact that we don't really know too much about, like, other than the few trailers, it's pretty strange.
yeah, because I feel like with Sword and Shield last time, they actually, well, I mean, I'm saying last time, like the last generation, they actually had like a decent amount of news for that game and everything. Like during June, they had like the whole direct and everything, and then they actually had a gameplay showcase and everything. That's where all the controversial stuff kind of started there, but we really haven't had anything like that for Scarlet and Violet, other than those 2 trailers, and I've noticed that there's like a lot of like leaks that are coming out of it. It's almost as bad as like Smash Bros. Like on Twitter, I'm seeing all of these
all the time.
Yeah,
but, like, who knows? Like, some people are saying, oh, certain elements are fake, certain elements are real. So it's just we need information to kind of put that all in, like, because there's like some information that it just seems like a bad thing. So it would be nice if they give us some clarification So.
Yeah. And another thing about, like, lack of updates on different games and different things is Kirby's Dream Buffet. Already, that was a pretty weird reveal. Like, just, I know Nintendo has done that in the past, like, randomly dropping trailers for games, but the way they revealed it was so weird. Like, they didn't,
It would have been a perfect reveal in, like, a Direct. Or the Direct Mini, if they just put that in there, that would have been a great addition to it.
Yeah, and it's weird, like, they just said summer 2022. Like, it's already the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, they should have just given, like, a release date or something.
Like, honestly, what they should have done with that game is just shadow dropped it. That would have made people just go ahead and play it immediately. Is that people are just gonna forget about it by the time it comes out. They're just gonna do some random thing and here it is.
Yeah.
And people are not really going to be interested. But, like, the fact that, you know, they had, like, the perfect timing to just shadow drop it there. And that's what they did for a lot of those Kirby games.
Yeah, that's what they did for Kirby
I
Fighters too.
Yeah, Kirby Fighters, Kirby Classic got shadow dropped in the Direct.
I think one reason why they didn't shadow drop it is because last time with Fighters 2, it got leaked before because of all the advertising and everything. And then that game fell off very quickly. So I think they're trying to avoid that this time. And I feel like a better approach would have been to, like, maybe reveal it and then release it, like, either a couple days or a week later.
Yeah, I would agree. Because, like, I don't know, it's just strange that they just, they you know, did one trailer and then that's it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing, it doesn't even have, like, any information, like, is it going to be a free game? Is it going to be, you know, how much is it going to be? There's no information of anything. It just, all we know is that it's out in summer 22.
Yeah, and that, I mean, that could be any time. That could be August, that could even be like September or something. For all that we know, that could be the drop after the September Direct. I was like thinking of that because that's technically still summer. Because Splatoon 3
but you think they would do that, like, if they were to do a you know, a shadow drop in that Direct, and that would be like the main announcement. So yeah, Splatoon 3 as well, like that needs more info, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we need to see more about that, because I'm not that excited for it, to be honest. I want to be more excited, but they just haven't given us much information to work with.
Yeah, like, all they're giving is, like, the weapons and the just random things about the game. Like, earlier today, we just got, like, more info about it. Like, every week they just put a little bit of info out about it, but it's not really interesting info. It's just, like, weapons and stuff like that. I mean, stuff that you'd already expect to see, but, like,
yeah, like, they kind of teased an apartment system or something, but, like, we don't know, like, if they were just, we don't know if they were actually talking about, like, in the game or just kind of as a, like, we don't have much to work with that we can tell, like, what this game even is just gonna be like.
There isn't really that big twist that Nintendo games usually have. I have a feeling that there's still gonna be something there. Like, it would be weird for Nintendo to release something, like, without that, or like a big distinction from 2. I still think there's going to be something, but I think it still has to be revealed. And it's just really weird how Nintendo's handling the marketing and advertising with Splatoon 3. I feel like it's really weird because, like, Nintendo seems to be, like, promoting it a lot but not showing enough information, and people aren't really talking about it that much. Which is kind of weird, because Nintendo's hyping it up to be the next, like, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like, a game on that level, but it really doesn't seem to be, like, the hype and the fan anticipation doesn't seem to be there. Like, Nintendo really hasn't shown any big hook for that game. Like, it's not really, like, it just seems like more of 2 so far with, like, a different coat of paint. It doesn't really seem like...
Coat of ink, you mean?
Yeah, or coat of ink, yeah. Yeah, but it's really weird how they're handling that game. So,
yeah.
The next thing, speaking of kind of games that they really haven't been showing off that much, is Advance Wars. That is really weird. Like, they haven't given any updates since, like, since the delay. Like, I don't think there's been anything. The only thing I've heard about is not from Nintendo, and it was like someone leaking the game or something like that. And that was like all I've heard so far.
and they said it would, or I saw like that it would be like released in like 2024 or something.
I thought I saw like
some
2023 or something.
Okay. Oh yeah, I mean not 2023, 2020. I mean not 2024, 2023. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I saw that like, and I'm like, you know, I was surprised that they put it that late. Like that is a fine game to just put in the summer. I
Yeah.
don't see anything
I was
wrong
originally
with that.
thinking they would release it in August. That feels like since Nintendo doesn't really have anything to release in August. I mean, now they could do Kirby, but I'm thinking like with Advance Wars, I mean, like we really haven't gotten anything for that, and since it's already July, we're probably not gonna see a release for the game until
Yeah.
like at least October.
I think yeah, putting it at the holiday would be a good idea. Like anything after that would just be a little bit too late. I mean, though, I
Yeah.
probably would end up getting the game now at this point since it's been delayed so much. That
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, I'll just get it because like
I actually had a pre-order for the game, but I had to cancel it because it got delayed. But I am still gonna get the game when it does eventually release. Imagine if it like releases after like Metroid Prime 4 and Breath of the Wild 2. It's just like they just wait,
Imagine,
even though
yeah.
the game is like basically complete. So
I know, yeah, I don't know if we'll get that late, but I think we're gonna get it soon at some point. I don't.
yeah, I just wanted to bring
I
this
don't
up
know.
real quick, but I think it's
Alright.
kind of ironic how Nintendo rushes out a lot of games, and then they have a fully complete game of Advance Wars and just wait. I mean, I know
Yeah,
there's
there are
reasons
probably,
for
like,
it,
other
but
games in that state as well.
yeah.
Like remember that 1-2 Switch sequel? That was also rumored about it being
Yeah,
big
that
as
was
well.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like when I heard about that concept, I was like, I mean, it, like, on paper, it doesn't sound bad, but it was probably really poorly implemented. So if that game, like, does get, like, more development time and they eventually decide to release it, I feel like that might be a good idea as long as it's optimized and as long as it gets more playtesting.
Yeah.
But, another thing that I want to say now is Twitter game announcements in general have been really weird, and also, like, the way Nintendo has been scheduling, like, their announcements for things in general is just really weird. Like, we got, like, more Bayonetta news out of nowhere, and then, once again, with the Kirby's Dream Buffet, that was really weird how that was revealed. It's just all of these updates and different things. I'm gonna get into updates in a little bit, but just the way they've been
Yeah.
announcing things is really weird. And the partner showcase, too, is also really weird.
Yeah, everything has just been kind of random.
Yeah, it really doesn't seem like they have
partner
a set.
showcase. Like I don't mind, you know, but it's just kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, it seems like they don't really have a set schedule for anything. Like, it just seems like they're just, oh, we're gonna announce this on this day, and just like a random announcement on another day. It's just really weird how they announce things. It's not even really comparable to 2020. It's just like in 2020, it was just out of the blue. We got something, but now it's just like every week we just get like some kind of random announcement or something. It's just really weird.
Yeah. I find it strange. It's like they should have a proper like idea of what, you know, Nintendo fans expect. And it's like always when you think they're gonna do something, they don't do that thing. It's like all the time.
Yeah, and it's weird how Nintendo, they specifically stated a while ago, I think someone at Nintendo stated that they wanted to bring the Direct formula back, like, well, back before they returned, and they actually liked the Direct format, but, like, this is just weird. I don't know why they just didn't do a Direct in June. Like, is there a secret role for Nintendo not to do an E3 Direct unless there's actually E3? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, or do they just not have like enough stuff? But I guess they would, or
Yeah.
I don't know. It's strange that they would just kind of not keep information just coming. You know, it's like we really don't know like their proper full lineup. Like it feels like there's still more, but I don't know. It's just really odd.
Yeah, and the next thing I wanted to say, like the final kind of big topic here, is like random updates. Like it kind of ties into this as well. But like there's Mario Strikers Battle League and the Nintendo Switch Sports update that like for some reason it took them 3 months to add leg strap support and new volleyball moves. And then also the Nintendo 64 games. I mean, even though the Nintendo 64 games really kind of do have a set schedule, they're just not showing any of the games and not giving us a roadmap. And then on random days, they just decide to add new NES and SNES games out of the blue. It's really
the ones
weird.
Adding are not that great. I mean, like sometimes you get like the one like okay game,
like
but
Kirby Avalanche.
Like, the most random. Yeah, like that was really cool.
But what what are these other games
yeah.
though? Like, what was that one that was like some like? I heard there was like this one Street Fighter ripoff or something. Like there was like this. It was like. What was that? It was like some fighting game they added recently.
Let's see. It was the NSO games, right?
Yeah, it was like because they recently updated the NES and SNES one. I know they added like Kirby Avalanche on the North American one, and then North American and Europe, and then Kirby Superstar Stacker in Europe, or not Europe, but Japan.
We got a Japanese exclusive game.
Yeah, and
we got what's this? Fighter History or something?
Fighter's History, that's what it was.
Yeah,
that's so weird. What even is that game? Like I've never heard of it before, and I'm into retro gaming.
Like these are like games that you find like in the cheap section, unless it's actually a rare game.
And then meanwhile in Japan's getting custom Robo, they're getting Kirby Superstar Stacker. But to be fair, with Kirby Superstar Stacker, that's completely playable in English, like if you download the Japanese Super Famicom app. But it's so weird, the games that we get here, like, I think they even added the Japanese NES game over in North America, but they didn't add Kirby Superstar Stacker. That was really weird. We just get, Kirby Avalanche, that's fine, but Fighter's History, like, seriously.
Yeah, I checked the price, it's actually around, like, it's around $20 game. So I guess it's not the most cheap game, but, yeah, it's just so random. Like, some will give us, like, a good title, but there's even a lot of, like, first-party ones we're still missing. I mean, the selection is getting, obviously, smaller and smaller with each game, but it's just...
Yeah.
They clearly don't have enough stuff to work with.
I can't believe it's taking them so long to add Super Mario RPG. Like, it's so weird. Like, they'll add, like... Yeah. They add Pinball and Kirby's Avalanche before... Super Mario RPG.
Pinball was weird. That was so random because that game should have been there like
from the start.
Way. Yeah, it's such a basic game.
Yeah, and that was for some reason that was the most interesting one that time. It was like the other two games. I forgot the other two games there, but they're like ones I've never heard of before. I feel like the Sega Genesis Online is doing things a lot better. Like most of the games there are games that people have actually heard of. Like Mega Man, the Wily Wars, that's actually
that's a really cool one.
Yeah, that's actually a great addition.
I actually have like I have a physical copy of that game, but it's like a custom version because that game only came out in Europe, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's like a European exclusive game. So.
Yeah, and I think it also released on like Sega Channel, like well, that obviously would have been for like a limited time, but that was interesting that they added it to Switch Online, and like also like there was like some other games too. There was like that one series that Camelot did, Shining Force. Yeah, Shining Force. They added those games, or at least one of those games to NSO, which is pretty good. Like they've been adding a lot of really good games to Sega Genesis, but they're just not delivering at all with the SNES and NES one. They're just adding like one somewhat interesting game. Like I get like Kirby Avalanche, somewhat interesting, but it's not like Super Mario RPG or something.
Isn't it just a Puyo game?
Yeah. Though I would say
one as well.
I would say that the cutscenes are pretty funny, but again, we already have the Puyo Puyo like SNES game on there. Like we already have that on, and then we have Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine on the Sega Genesis one. So there really wasn't a point. They should have just added Superstar Stacker onto the North American and Europe one. That was just really weird how they handled it, because they already added Panel de Pon. Like they can add Japanese exclusive games onto the North American and Europe one. So it's really weird how they're handling it. It's just like there clearly isn't anything stopping them from adding Super Mario RPG, because they're adding all of these other games from other companies, and I'm not sure. I think they actually have added games from Square Enix on there before. I'm not. I might be wrong.
Wii U, it had the game, right? Didn't the Wii U have Super Mario RPG? So there's why they couldn't put it on the Switch.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like they added Paper Mario to the Nintendo 64 one, so obviously there isn't anything stopping them from adding RPGs. Like if they have Paper Mario and they added different ones like that, Shining Force.
The way they added Earthbound was weird.
Yeah, Earthbound. Yeah.
It took them a while to add it, and then they finally did it, and they put it in a direct, which is interesting.
I think
they
was
just put it in a direct.
It was a similar case to Super Mario All Stars when they released that in the Mario Direct. I have a feeling that they might possibly do this in a direct. That's like, I feel like that's probably the last case. So, like, kind of like the probably like the only way we're probably gonna get Super Mario RPG onto that service. Like if it's gonna be like revealed during a direct or something, because the last direct, like the last full direct, is when they did Earthbound. So there's a possibility they could do Super Mario RPG there. They might do like special game reveals there. So I also wanted to touch back on Nintendo Switch Sports before I end the video. But basically, with that game, that is really weird and definitely signals Nintendo's lack of transparency there, because it took them so long to add the leg strap support for the whole soccer mode on there.
Yeah. That's such a weird thing. It's like for bundling something with the product, you'd think it'd be like finished.
Yeah, it was, and they also added new moves to volleyball, which is really weird. Like, that affects the core formula of the game. Like, why is that something that you wouldn't finish at launch? It's so weird. And then there's also the update that they're waiting till the fall to add golf, and we have like no information about that either. And like obviously it's probably going to be either in the direct or just a weird random drop. So it's just really weird how they're just not really giving that many updates on the game. Like all they're doing is the cosmetic thing, but that's not really like that big. That's just like the cosmetics and different things. That's just like things that they're like kind of doing. That's kind of just online support for the game, but like they're really not giving any transparency for the updates. And considering how lacking the base game was, it's pretty concerning.
Yeah, it's like, did they just not have the game like ready, so they just put it out anyways?
Yeah, and what I'm thinking, I kind of have a theory. They actually, I have a theory that they had everything basically finished before launch, like even like golf and different things. Because if golf was just very early in development, like they wouldn't be able to show it in the February direct, like 2 months before the game even launched.
Like, how it looked.
Yeah, like I have a feeling that they actually already finished all of the like games that they're gonna add to Nintendo Switch Sports in the future, but they're just waiting to just artificially increase the longevity of the game. And I find it weird that Nintendo seems to be pushing Nintendo Switch Sports like it's a bigger thing, while it really fell off, like right after it launched. Like you barely hear anyone talking about it. Even with these updates, you don't really hear anyone talking about it now.
Yeah, it just came and went. It didn't really have as like such a big I guess like hype as much. It just kind of happened, and
yeah,
they want to try to make it like this big service game. And I think that's a big problem, is that a lot of Nintendo's games, like all the sports one, they want to make it into the service.
Yeah, And I feel like the way Nintendo handles things, they can't do that. Like, the way they handle it, like, at least with the way they handle it, like, in Nintendo's core philosophy and everything, they just can't do something like that, unless it's like Splatoon. Like, I think Splatoon is really the only series where that works. Maybe
Yeah, because
ARMS...
you can just add more stuff to it over time.
Yeah, with Splatoon, it actually works. Most of their other series, and especially Nintendo Switch Sports, because Nintendo Switch Sports doesn't really know what it's gonna be. Like, it doesn't know what it wants to be. Like, like, sometimes it markets itself as a family game, sometimes an online game. Like, it really doesn't have an identity. Like, it's really weird, because I see the vast majority of people, like, who play the game, like, when I just see it, like, in random conversations online, they just say they're playing it with their family. And clearly Nintendo wants to push it as some kind of online competitive game like Splatoon, but it clearly isn't meant to be like that, so it's really weird.
Yeah, it's like they don't really know like the vision of like what it wants to be, and even like the development studio as well. You know, with the fact that the game has like weird concepts with the development. You know how they want to do like hamburger and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, they wanted to do some weird stuff with the game, so I don't even know if the development team had a proper vision of what this game was supposed to be. Like, they wanted to reinvent the game. You know, they wanted to reinvent, you know, what the gameplay is, but that's not what they needed to focus on, so...
Yeah, but let's end the video off here. I feel like we kind of talked enough about Nintendo's lack of transparency, but yeah, it's really weird how lately Nintendo hasn't really been transparent about, like, either upcoming games or DLC and just anything at all. It's just they've been really acting weird lately, almost like 2020, but even a little different.
There's no reason why they need to be as, like, secretive and quiet. Like, I know they really want to focus on the upcoming games. Like, they really want to focus on Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which they should, because I think that's a game that they really should push. But it's just, other than that, like, there's nothing else. Like, and that's the thing, if someone's not interested in Xenoblade Chronicles, there's nothing else for them to really be interested in, or excited about, right?
Yeah. But anyways, that's basically kind of our thoughts on Nintendo's lack of transparency. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and also make sure to subscribe to Anton Retro, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to, and also to join my channel membership if you want to. Goodbye.
Bye.